Do you struggle to make decisions? Not because you don't know what to do, but because everything feels urgent. Do you think more, plan more, and still feel stuck? Do even small choices leave you mentally drained? Do you feel stress simply trying to decide what matters first? Do you feel clarity slipping away the longer you think? If this feels familiar, it's not a willpower problem. It's not a discipline problem. It's your brain reacting to overload. Your brain was never designed to handle many decisions at the same time. Neuroscience shows that the brain processes choices one after another, not all at once. When too many decisions compete for attention, the nervous system shifts into stress mode. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus, planning, and judgment, starts losing efficiency. Stress chemicals like cortisol rise, while working memory weakens. This is why the more you think, the worse it often feels. When your brain senses too many unresolved choices, it interprets that as uncertainty. And for the nervous system, uncertainty feels like danger. Not physical danger, but cognitive threat. The body prepares for action, even when none is needed. This is why decision stress feels physical. Tight chest, mental fog, restlessness, fatigue. Your brain is trying to protect you, not punish you. But it's using an ancient system in a modern world. The one thing rule works because it respects how the brain actually functions. Instead of forcing the mind to juggle everything, it asks one simple question: what is the one thing I need to decide or act on right now? That question alone changes brain activity. When focused, narrows to one decision, competing neural signals quiet down. The prefrontal cortex regains control over emotional centers like the amygdala. Stress signals reduce, not because the problem is solved, but because it's defined. Clarity begins before action. Your brain prefers one clear problem over 10 vague ones. Psychology shows that ambiguity creates more stress than difficulty. A hard choice with clear boundaries feels safer than many loose options. The brain relaxes when it knows where to aim. Memory plays a powerful role here too. When decisions pile up, working memory becomes overloaded. You forget details, doubt past choices, and replay thoughts again and again. This looping feels like overthinking, but it's memory strain. Focusing on one thing stabilizes memory. The hippocampus can organize information instead of chasing it. You remember why something matters, not just that it exists. Confidence slowly returns as memory becomes reliable again. Over time, this changes the brain itself. Neuroplasticity means the brain adapts to how you use it. Each time you simplify focus, you strengthen clarity circuits. Stress pathways weaken when they're no longer constantly activated. Many people believe wisdom means considering everything at once, but neuroscience suggests wisdom grows through sequencing, not overload. One thoughtful step at a time builds better judgment. That's how complex understanding actually forms. This idea isn't new. Philosophical and religious traditions emphasize presence and single intention. Modern neuroscience is now confirming what humans sensed long ago. Focus is not limitation, it's alignment. From a future perspective, this matters more than ever. Technology increases options, speed, and pressure. But the human brain still needs simplicity to think clearly. Those who master focus will feel calmer in a louder world. Stress-free decision-making isn't about avoiding responsibility. It's about working with your brain instead of against it. Choosing one thing gives your mind permission to function properly, and that's where real clarity begins. Think about a normal day. You wake up and already have choices waiting. What to check first? What to ignore? What can wait? Before breakfast, your brain is already tired. This is where most stress actually begins. Not from big life decisions, but from constant small ones. What to reply to? What task to start? What problem to think about? Each unfinished choice quietly pulls on your attention. Real life shows this clearly. People often say they feel better after making a decision, even a hard one. The situation may not change, but their stress drops. That's the one thing rule in action. When someone decides, right now, my one thing is this email, the brain relaxes. Not because the email is enjoyable, but because uncertainty disappears for a moment. The brain knows what it's doing now. This also explains why multitasking feels productive but leaves you exhausted. Switching tasks forces the brain to reload context each time. Memory has to reset, emotions spike, and focus drops. The one thing rule protects energy by reducing switches. A practical way to use this is decision parking. When another thought appears, you don't fight it. You mentally park it and return to your one thing. This tells the brain it won't forget, so it can let go. Writing helps even more. Putting decisions on paper moves them out of working memory. The brain stops looping because it feels recorded and safe. This is why lists reduce stress, not increase it. Another powerful tool is shrinking the decision. Instead of fix my career, the one thing becomes send one message. The brain handles small, clear actions much better. Momentum builds naturally from there. Memory reframing is key here. Under stress, memory exaggerates difficulty and past failures. Your brain remembers effort more than success. Focusing on one thing corrects this bias. When you complete a single, focused action, memory updates. The brain records, I can finish things. This strengthens confidence pathways. Over time, this changes how future decisions feel. People often think stress means something is wrong with them. In reality, it means the brain is trying to protect itself. It's saying, too much, too fast. The one thing rule listens instead of forcing. Even in relationships, this applies. Instead of fixing everything, focus on one conversation. Instead of understanding everything, listen fully once. Connection improves when attention stops splitting. These tools work not because they remove stress, but because they teach the brain flexibility. Stress becomes a signal, not a command. The nervous system learns recovery. Memory learns safety. Processing becomes clearer. 15 minutes a day is enough when those minutes are intentional. The brain is shaped by what happens repeatedly, not occasionally. Small daily practices send a consistent message. You are not in danger, and learning can continue. Looking ahead, neuroscience is changing how we understand stress and the human mind. Researchers are no longer asking only how stress harms us, but how it shapes learning, judgment, and long-term wisdom. The brain is not designed to avoid stress completely. It is designed to adapt, update, and grow through it when recovery is present. Future research shows that resilience is not about being calm all the time. It is about how quickly the nervous system returns to balance. People with high resilience still feel stress, but their brains recover faster. This recovery speed predicts mental health more accurately than stress exposure itself. As science advances, we are seeing stress responses as personalized patterns. Each brain reacts differently based on genetics, experience, and environment. This means the future of stress solutions is not one-size-fits-all routines, but flexible tools that teach self-awareness and regulation. Wisdom, from a brain perspective, develops when emotion, memory, and logic work together. Stress that is processed rather than suppressed strengthens this integration. People who learn to work with stress often develop better perspective, patience, and emotional insight. The brain becomes less reactive and more thoughtful over time. Memory also changes with maturity. When the brain repeatedly experiences stress followed by recovery, it updates its predictions. Future stress feels less threatening because the brain remembers successful adaptation. This is how confidence forms at a neurological level. Processing improves as well. When stress no longer hijacks attention, the prefrontal cortex stays online longer. Decision-making becomes clearer. Emotional reactions slow down. This is not about controlling emotions, but about giving the brain enough safety to think fully. Future technologies already reflect this understanding. Wearables measure recovery, sleep quality, and heart rate variability, showing how daily habits shape nervous system health. These tools are not meant to judge, but to teach awareness. The brain changes faster when feedback is visible. Meaning also plays a powerful role. Studies show that stress connected to purpose is less damaging. When people understand why effort matters, the brain activates reward circuits that buffer stress effects. This is why people can endure challenges when they feel their actions matter. From a future thought perspective, mental health is moving away from avoidance and towards skill building. The goal is not to eliminate pressure, but to build systems that help the brain recover, learn, and adapt. This approach respects biology instead of fighting it. The hopeful truth is that your brain is never finished. Neuroplasticity continues across the lifespan. Learning, movement, connection, and reflection all support change. regardless of age. Stress does not freeze the brain unless it becomes chronic and unexamined. 15 minutes of intentional practice may seem small, but to the brain, consistency is powerful. These moments become reference points. Over time, the nervous system learns that stress is temporary. Memory updates. Processing sharpens. Wisdom quietly develops. So when stress appears, it doesn't have to be a warning sign of failure. It can be a reminder that your brain is trying to help. With the right tools, that effort becomes more refined, more rebalanced, and more human. And that is, the future science is pointing toward not a life without stress, but a mind that knows how to move through it, learn from it, and emerge stronger, clearer, and wiser on the other side.